expert opinion happening in lots of fields of real life.
Yes. So from this you said that okay, we can have to model this different experts opinions basically, and we don't know yet whether they are the good ones.
Yeah.
I think we have the situation. How can we do that? I mean,
This is some of the work we're doing now. This is where, for me, this is the really interesting part of it actually. So I'll say, first of all, about 5 years ago we got approached by the UK. It's called GCHQ. It's like the security services. You know the UK security. Yeah, like communications police, like internet traffic, they're trying to detect crime on the internet. Traffic, terrorists plotting bomb plots or something on using communications. Anyway, they actually also have to advise the government on how secure systems are. I won't go into any detail. Part of what they did is they have teams of internal experts that they employ, and they have external experts. We'll see where this answer is going to in a minute. Because they approached us and said, we want to know, actually anyone can set themselves up as a security consultant. There's no exam for being a security consultant. So they said, we want to know whether these people we employ are any good. They're calling themselves security experts. We want to know whether they're experts. Can we measure how expert they are? So this is another conjecture. Right. If I'm an expert, let's say in any subject, let's say it's mathematics, and I say if you give me difficult mathematics, I might make a mistake, I might get it wrong or something. If I'm an expert, I'll have some variation. If you're a non-expert, you know nothing about an area, you're guessing. So you'll have more variation. So measuring variation could give us an idea as to how expert someone is. And this is what we did with GCHQ. We gave these security consultants we gave them tasks to do, and we had them in exam condition, and they had to give us answers. And we had this repeated. Some of the questions were repeated. We didn't tell them. And then you see whether they give the same answer to the same question. And so we could measure their variation and the expert variation, the people who were employed within GCHQ. And actually, the answer of this showed us that the external people had the same amount of variation as the internal people. So this is a long answer to say, I think that measuring variation can actually give us an idea of measuring expertise. I know, I sort of say, this, I show this data, and I know who A and B are, and I know the variation. But I've never told anyone, it's confidential, who was A and who was B. I could measure the variation in A and B. And we did this study in some other people, and some other doctors. And actually, interestingly, in the other doctors, we found the junior doctors had higher variation, and the very, very old doctors had higher variation. Yeah, and the best was in the middle. The people who were, and it was the people who were the senior professors who were not so good. So I'll say this, and now I can say I'm not a senior professor. Because, you're very junior, perhaps you don't know, haven't got the knowledge. Perhaps when you're very senior, you stop, I don't teach at the moment, I stop practicing all the time. So the people who are actually in the middle, who are doing the most work, shall we say, the most day-to-day work, they've got their expertise, but they're doing the job, rather than the famous expert professor who then doesn't look at them anymore, doesn't do all the cases. So I think it's interesting, and maybe I think there's whole areas we can use this to measure expertise. But the other thing I'll say here is just, imagine A and B. So imagine if I do this. Right, I want to measure you two. Are you going to volunteer? I'm going to do a task on. It's all of us. It becomes a very, very, shall we say, threatening, thing. Because actually, if you're going to start measuring my expertise on the subject area, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that now at this point in my career. So I think it's a really interesting area. It was really difficult. And one of the things I had to do was promise that I would never reveal who these two are. I know who these two are. But I promised that I'd never reveal who it was. And they did it, they never published their names. I've never mentioned their names. But I know, But it's obviously, when we did it with GCHQ, because it was a government agency, the government agency told the people, if you want to carry on working with us, you've got to do this exam. And so they were told either you do the exam or we won't employ you. So it was like a test for the people. So they had to do it. But in general, it could be quite a challenging thing for us to all do. You get to a certain point in your life and you say, I don't want to do another exam. Well, we get students do exams.
Yeah, that's right. Just curious, so it's also possible that a person may not be a real expert, but he can be very consistent in terms of decision making. His variation would be fairly small.
Absolutely, you're correct, I think. If you imagine that you could have a test. Let's say you have these 50 results. Let's say I'm someone who's got a photographic memory, and even 1 month later I can actually remember exactly the results. It's possible. And I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just doing manually, but I can remember from a month ago exactly. Variation is not a direct measure. But I will just, it's some sort of...
It's a one-run.
I would say it's some sort of proxy. Fuzzy measure. Look, this is the work I'm really interested in. This is the work I've been doing for 20 years. Maybe you can tell, because this is what I find is really interesting. I think there's huge amounts of research we could do in this, and looking at some of these questions. Can we use variation to model expertise? How do we do it? How do we distinguish the person who doesn't know that is consistent? Is there somehow, take people with Asperger's syndrome, or autism? Sometimes they can have fantastic memory. So they don't know, maybe someone like this, doesn't know the answer that they're just getting right.
Or like someone who has a misconception or something, and then, see that, this is the case, so they have.
This is how you do this case. Absolutely. I think it's a really good point. It's not a perfect measure, I wouldn't say it. Another question people sometimes ask is, I show one data where we have 3%, and then the other one at the end we have 8%. And some people say, this is some amount. My answer to that is it must vary on the problem. If I give a really simple problem, what's 2 plus 2? There's going to be zero variation, pretty much, in most human beings. I'm sure you'll be able to find some people who get the answer wrong. Somebody who's completely uneducated. So if you give a simple problem, you're going to get basically zero variation. If you give a really, really difficult problem, you're probably going to get higher variation. So I think the amount of variation is going to depend both on the people, the individual people, how expert the people are, but also on how difficult the problem is. And so I think it's a combination of those two things which will give the amount of variation that you'll see in practice.
And in these cases, we have some benchmark for these ladies in terms of their health. Is there any indicators that correspond to this tracking?
That's a really good question. So there's something else. I don't show this data now because it's too detailed. But there's something else which is called the APGAR score. I can't go into detail. The experts give a score to the baby, and they give it at 1 minute and 5 minutes. And this score they actually give it on 0 to 10. And 0 means the baby is very dead, or close to death. And sometimes the babies have an APGAR score of 0 being 5, and they look at resuscitation. But 0 means almost dead, and 10 means perfectly healthy. And that score, I did a correlation of my system against that score, and I got, well, my initial system was 0.5, and then I produced a better and better system, and eventually got to 0.65, and I got a 0.65 correlation, so I got my system, which was the highest I could get, in correlation with that APGAR score. And then, but it's a bit like what you just said with variation. The thing is, there's other reasons why the APGAR score will be low. So it's not a perfect measure, because the APGAR score just looks at the baby. So a baby could die, let's say 1 day before labour. So the baby could actually die before labour starts. And then it's not dying, it hasn't died of oxygen starvation, it maybe died of something else. So what my system is saying is not actually just how sick is the baby. My system is actually saying how ill from oxygen starvation, because it's looking at the blood gases. So my system doesn't get it. If the baby was died from some other reason, the blood gases might, they might actually be normal. You have a dead baby with a blood gas is normal because they died of some other thing. So you don't expect a correlation of 1. But this APGAR score was the best kind of correlator, and my system did well against that. And I also compared the experts against the APGAR score. So I compared the experts against the APGAR score and my system against the APGAR score. And both of them got a correlation of 0.65. So my system is sort of saying, no, my system gets higher than the experts. I think the experts got 0.5 and my system got 0.65. So our system got a better correlation than the experts. They can ask any questions they like, but they don't have to ask about the talk.
They ask about the graduate program, scholarships or
Scholarships. We have PhD scholarships for Nottingham. We have PhD scholarships every year. We have PhD scholarships. So very, very good students can get scholarship, can get PhD scholarship for Nottingham, where we pay for the student to do PhD. But it's very competitive, very high standard, shall we say. But actually, I also say it's very high standard, but also every year we underspend. So I'm the boss, so I see that I have the budget. But every year we don't fill all the places. So it's very competitive, but we don't fill all the places. I mean, sometimes students say, well, that's crazy. But we have to have a high standard. So what I'm saying is there's unfilled opportunity for high standard students. But the biggest issue, the biggest problem is quality of English. So we have There's actually, yeah, there's plenty of students who have very good qualifications. But to do PhD in England, in Nottingham, you need very good English. And so my advice, if you want to get PhD scholarship, is actually what you need to do is practice English. You've got to practice written English, writing and speaking. What we do is we interview candidates. And if we can't, if the spoken English is poor, I won't take PhD students, we won't have PhD students where the English is poor because they just don't, PhD is difficult, it takes 3 to 4 years, very, very hard work. And to do a PhD in English, if your English is not good, it's, you know, and I'm not going to spend my time correcting English. You know, very bad English. Obviously, if we get, you know, at the very final stage of the thesis, maybe I can help with a few words here and there. We do. But I'm not writing a thesis for a student, you know, because their English isn't good enough. So this is a serious answer. Yes, the scholarships. We have unfilled scholarships each year. But the main reason we have unfilled scholarships is quality of English isn't good enough. It might be not the answer, yeah, but that's the truth.
Something that they choose here and then